Education Department, $107 billion. Medicaid, $275 billion. Social Security, $768 billion. Food programs, $98 billion. Housing programs, $45. Amtrak, $2.5. Defense, $532 billion. That doesn't include the funding for wars. Justice Department, $30 billion. I mean, we have become so dependent on government. It would nearly be impossible to go one day without a government subsidy, and I mean regular people, because the government has become America's sugar daddy. And we are relying on the government for help, and we don't even know it. So what about the hardworking people that want to cut the cord? Well, I said, I don't even know. I don't even know if you could. What are the ramifications of that? I called up John Stossel, a friend of mine. He's the host of Stossel on the Fox Business Network, because he's the guy. He's been a libertarian forever and in the media. I don't know how he survived. I don't. Barely. How are you, sir? Barely. Okay. John, so the question was that I had for you, how much subsidy do I get every single day? Do you get? Everybody?
It's impossible to calculate because it goes in, it goes out. You had a graph at the start of the show showing that the subsidies have gone up to 44% from the earlier. But that's just the cash. If you look at the total subsidy, you can't calculate it.
Okay.
And all of us collect it.
Everybody does.
I mean, the lights in the studio. You think that's just light that Fox paid for?
Yes.
No, taxpayer paid for that. This is the Energy Department subsidies for all kinds of producers of energy.
Could we have energy without all this crap?
Sure, of course. And presumably it would be cheaper, more efficient, because it wouldn't have to be laundered through the government and all these programs, many of which waste money.
But wouldn't we just be choking in smoke?
Well, some pollution rules, okay. I'm
right.
a libertarian,
Yeah.
But that's a role for government.
All right,
I'll take that.
Okay, all right. Okay, so
I don't want to choke and smoke either.
Right. I mean, I want to look like, I don't want to be Pittsburgh 1955.
That's
Let's
right.
be honest. Okay, so what else? We have government.
Okay, you get up in the morning, you have your Wheaties and your milk.
Yeah.
Wheat gets all kinds of subsidies. The milk gets all these subsidies. We'd get milk without this, but the farmers were politically connected, and they manipulated the system, so taxpayers fund all this stuff. And
Do we have any idea how much milk would cost without all this? Do you really believe it would be less?
Because some of it's more expensive because of this, some of it's price supports, some of it's taxpayers would save. I mean,
we have a problem, like, for instance, sugar. We have a problem because don't we ban sugar from being grown, or we have to buy? What is this sugar thing? Do you know what I'm talking about?
We do. We support a few families, Cuban families in Florida. The FanJules have so lobbied politicians that the price of sugar has to cost a certain amount, so they stay in business. This makes everything made with sugar cost a little more.
Okay.
Then the corn makers say, oh, corn syrup, we can't compete, so then they get a price subsidy.
Okay, so that affects every time I buy a Coca-Cola, I get a subsidy from the United States government.
That's right.
Okay.
And are you wearing clothing that might be made of cotton?
Yes, I am, actually.
Well, here we go again. The cotton farmers have learned to manipulate the system. And, of course, it's always more. I have another...
But wait a minute. John, how can we... I mean, because this will be the argument. They can't compete with the rest of the world. Now, I find this amazing because we have to take a break. We're running really late. Well, let me ask a question, then you come back and answer the question. You can't compete against the rest of the world because the rest of the world can produce everything. We are no longer the breadbasket of the world. What are we, number 2, number 3? We're no longer the one that really makes all the food.
Not the food, you mean?
Yeah, not the food.
I don't know.
So how do we...
We export a lot of food. We're doing well in the food business.
We are, but we're not what we used to be. The question is, how do you compete without the government balancing things? Because that's what everybody says. We'll go do that next. You know what I mean?
Still on camera, guys.
If we didn't have...
We're back with John Stossel. And by the way, you can catch his show, Stossel, on the Fox Business Network tonight at 9 p.m. and then again at 12 a.m. Eastern. Tonight you have who?
We have education. Talk about subsidies and government spending. We have a school that went from the worst in California to the best with less money, and the principal fired teachers on the first day sometimes.
Who doesn't think that that won't work? I mean, I just don't understand it.
The principal freedom to make run his own.
Exactly right. Okay, so I asked you before we went out, what people will say we can't make it. You know, we have to have all these government subsidies or we won't be able to compete. We won't be able to make it.
Well, that's why I love this chart. Look when America grew the fastest, when we became the most remarkable country in the world. This is a graph of the size of government over the history of the Republic. For most of the life of the country, government was less than 5% of GDP. It's only since Lyndon Johnson and the Great Society, FDR, that it goes
Come over here.
Up.
I want to show you this real quick. We're going to go over to the timeline. And I want to show you, this is, now you have the graph starting here, and it's flatline. It's flatline. Really all the way, it starts here. Here's Social Security.
When we grew the fastest, the tiny government.
This is when the world, we were candlelight here.
We were nothing.
We were
here
nothing.
Already we were the leader.
Right, okay. So now, here we go, and it comes up. Now this is government spending. Now here we are, 1944, the GI Bill of Rights, the National School Lunch Act, 1946. See that it comes up. This is the growth of government. We have Medicaid and Medicare begins 1965. Here's your Great Society. But I find this interesting. 1974, that's Nixon Ford, is it not? Here it comes. Look at, it's not a Democratic problem. It is an American progressive problem. Food stamps programs, right? Goes up, comes down a little bit, 1981, goes up a little bit, then comes back down. This is the Low Home Energy Assistance Program. What is that? Skyrockets up. 1997 is S-chip. But you'll see here, again, at the end of Clinton, it kind of comes down. That is when Clinton and
a gridlock, a Republican Congress that said no.
No, but look at how little it went down.
Well, the trend is up.
We thought that was so
This
huge.
goes off the chart where it's going now up. You can't graph it in the studio.
Is it reasonable? You and I are both small government, libertarian. We disagree on things, I'm sure, but we both want small government. Do you believe that this can ever even get, could ever even get here?
And it has to get there if we're going to survive and pay for the people who really do need help. I worry. I mean, I listen to the Tea Party people. They want smaller government, but the polls show, well, what about Social Security? Oh, don't touch that. What about Medicare? Don't touch that. We have to chop into some of these programs. It's unsustainable.
It's not going to happen. I mean, it's not going to happen. You won't get it eventually. So and soon, when I say eventually, I mean, you know what's so frustrating is that this thing has been going on like this. We've known it since it started. FDR said, you can't pass this bill on to the people in 1980. And yet we just keep growing and growing and growing.
Well, part of the problem is we rudely keep living longer. And FDR had no idea that people...
Healthcare's going to take care of that.
When Social Security was...
Back in just a second. Thanks. I've told you many times to watch the other hand, because everybody right now is focusing on the Republican Party. Nobody's looking at the other hand. They are purposely trying to keep you from looking at the truth about the election in Delaware. Why don't we just take a quick second and focus on the Democratic pick? His name is Chris Coons. He's a guy that Harry Reid calls his pet. So who is he? Well, while a student at Amherst College, he spent some time in Kenya, and he came back a changed man. He wrote about his reaction his friends had when he returned to college. Quote, Africa to them seems a catalytic converter that takes in clean-shaven, clear-thinking Americans and sends back bearded Marxists. But Coons said he began questioning his idea of America leading up to his trip. His suspicions were just confirmed in Africa. He went on to say, quote, I realize that Kenya and America are different, but experiences like this warn me that my own favorite beliefs in the miracle of the free enterprise system and the boundless opportunities to be had here in America were largely untrue. America, watch the other hand. Watch the other hand. You can say that this O'Donnell lady is unelectable. Whatever. Do we need another guy who believes in taking it and not baking it in Washington? Back in a second. Show. Moses, Jesus, Gandhi, and MLK. They're not going to be guests, but you don't want to miss tomorrow's show. And if you haven't gotten your fill of me yet, you can catch me over the weekend. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be in Clemson. Then I'm going to be in Angola, Indiana, and then just outside of Chicago. You don't want to miss it. Find out all the details at glennbeck.com. From New York. Oh, call me, by the way. Call me. From New York. Good night, America.